Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just got out of work because I figured I'd film now, so I keep forgetting to film this video. It's probably a couple days overdue. Alright, today I'm going to talk to you about the barium swallow in my experience. I had the barium swallow 2 days ago. Yeah, because today is June 21st and I had it on the 19th. Yeah. And then I had EKG right after that. So the beginning of the appointment, don't mind me scratching my head. The beginning of the appointment, the lady takes me to this bare room, and then she asks me, the usual, your name, your date of birth, why you're here, yada yada yada. And then after she explains everything to me, and I answer all her questions, she then proceeds to have me lock my clothes into this little cabinet. And then after that, she came back with a Johnny, and then was like, get dressed, and then to follow her. So I did that, went back to the room, and then she had 3 solutions for me. The first solution looked like Pop Rocks, and she explained it. Looks exactly like Pop Rocks, and I want to say like a powdered version of Pop Rocks. She basically told me you can put this in the back of your tongue as far back as you can, and then you're going to drink the water and don't swallow it right away because it fizzes up really fast. And then she gave me the cup of the barium. Let me tell you, the cup was literally about this big and probably had that much barium in it. It felt like it was a 5-pound weight. I'm like, ooh. She's like, yeah, we usually hand these to you guys so that you can see how heavy the cup is. So when I hand you the cup, you don't drop it thinking that it's a light cup. She said, because there's a big, huge cleanup. And I was just like, yeah, probably. And then the next solution was thinner. So the barium was thick like a milkshake. Think of the thickest milkshake you've ever had. And it tasted like lemon and bleh. That's the only thing I can really describe. It was so chalky and so thick. And then the other solution tasted pretty much the same, but that solution was thin like a melted milkshake. So she's explaining to me how they're gonna take pictures, how I'm gonna stand on top of this. It looked like basically like a scale with a big board, a big plastic board that you had to lean against. And before I even got on top of that, she's like, oh, when the x-ray technician comes in, he's gonna take you for a ride. I did not know what she meant by take you for a ride, so I was just like, all right, I'm thinking I'm gonna just be standing up and the usual, you turn to the left, you turn to the right, that kind of thing, whatever. But no. So when he came in, everything was super quick. I swallowed the Pop Rock solution, and then he's like, quickly lay back. And then there's this machine, and it's taking pictures of everything going down. I couldn't see it at first, but then they turned on the machine. Then actually, no, I'm lying. So after they did the Pop Rocks thing, the second one was I had to start drinking the barium. This is the thickest, most disgusting, most chalky thing you'll ever have in your entire life. It is so disgusting. I was just like, oh my god. And then with the thinner solution, there was actually a straw in it. So I'm like, can I get the straw for this? So every time he told me to sit on my side, I did, but then he was like, oh, that I'm sitting all the way up. You just had to sit up on your side. So I was thoroughly confused. So I had to go back, forth, lay on my stomach, lay halfway on my side, lay halfway on my other side, lay all the way on my other side, and turn over. So it was basically that. And it was cool because while this was going on, I could actually see on the screen the liquid going down in black and white. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And you're taking pictures, so that was pretty cool. And then came the second liquid. The second liquid wasn't as bad as the first, but let me tell you, I had to fast for 8.5 hours. So when I got in there, I was thirsty. So before I even got into the room, the nurse like, oh, how you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm great. I'm just thirsty. She's like, you won't be thirsty. And I didn't know what she meant until we got in the room and she showed me all these liquids. And I'm thinking, oh. So then afterwards, my stomach was a little bloated and I felt super full. And the nurse was telling me, she was like, you need to drink a lot of water. And I'm thinking to myself, all right. So then on the walk home, walk down the hill to catch the bus, I drink water. Then when I got home, I called my mom and I was just like, oh, I told her all about the things. And she's like, oh, they had you do all 3. She's like, You need to drink as much water as possible. Not just a little bit, not a little bit more than you usually do. Drink a lot. So I'm like guzzling bottles of water until I'm like super incredibly full. And then I'm doing like hot teas and stuff. And then my mom was like, oh, if you don't drink enough water, you're going to become impacted because that stuff like basically turned into cement in your stomach. And at first I was just like, what? But then afterwards, like how bloated my stomach was feeling, whatever. And I did not want to become compacted and then be in the emergency room crying, like, because they really can't do anything about it. All you can really do is like do enemas and a bunch of BS, and I did not want to do that. So I was drinking tons and tons and tons of water. And the nurse is like, oh, your poop is going to come out like white or tannish color for a couple of days. Don't worry about it. Let me tell you, them shits came out like cannonballs. Sorry to be graphic, guys, but they came out like cannonballs. I'm talking so hard. All you hear is boom when they come out the toilet, and I'm not exaggerating at all. So it's been 2 days, and I'm like still experiencing the same problem. Like my stomach doesn't hurt anymore, but I am drinking as much water as possible. So anyways, after that appointment, I had the EKG, which was like super fast. The lady like basically opened up my Johnny and she put the things all over my legs, and she did it so fast. Like by the time she was done, I was like, oh, you're already done? She's like, yeah. So that was my last 2 appointments, and now it's a waiting game. On the checklist, so my checklist is completely done. On the checklist, it gives you this number to call this lady when everything is completed. So I called her on the 19th, but she's on vacation until today. So I probably won't hear back from her for like a little bit. But I asked her like if she could give me the end of August, beginning of September. I know that I've been waiting 8 months and I'm like anxious and stuff like that, but I just started a new job like the beginning of this month. So I'm really not trying to jeopardize that by like, oh, I've been at my job for 6 weeks. I'm going to go out for, no, I don't want to do that. I wanted to be in my job. Sorry, there's like tons and tons of cars going by. I wanted to be in my job for at least 90 days. And so I read the handbook and everything that I need to do, whatever. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be okay. So yeah, I am super anxious to have the surgery done. And anyone who I talked to about this, they're like, oh, are you scared? No, I'm more anxious than anything. Probably the day of, I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so scared. And probably cry a little because, yeah. But otherwise, I'm just anxious to get done with. I'm anxious to get healthy. I'm anxious to be a smaller size. I'm anxious for all my health ailments to go away and to feel healthy and to be able to run, climb, and stuff like that. And I want to stop sweating like a crazy person. Yesterday, I had training, because I just came from training today, but yesterday I had training for 10 hours. Not 10 hours, sorry, from 10 to 2. And it was all physical training for like safety skills for my job. And let me tell you, I was sweating so hard, like it was dripping. It was so disgusting, and I was so embarrassed. And I know even after you lose weight, you will obviously sweat when you do physical activity, but let me tell you, sweating like that, I never want to do that again. It was so incredibly embarrassed. And then you have to like touch people and do certain moves, and I was just like wiping my neck like I'm sorry, and then it was a mess. It was truly a mess. I don't know if you guys could see that, but yeah, but it's pretty bad over here. But I'm really excited. I'm really relieved. I'm really happy. I'm full of emotions. I really just can't wait for this rebirth of the person who I'm supposed to be, for my mentality to change, for things to go better for myself, And like I say in every video, I encourage anybody who wants a surgery done for whatever reason you want it done, whether it's health, whether it's vanity, whether it's a mix of both, whether it's because you want to become a mother, anything, I encourage you to do it so you feel better in your own skin, and it's going to be an amazing ride and journey, and I'm so excited to start this. So I love you guys. Thank you for following me. I'll see you in another video. Bye. Again, I had some technical difficulties, but basically he was like, no, you're gonna take a sip when I tell you to take a sip, basically. Not in like a mean way, whatever, but he said basically the straw was not gonna be able to suck up that liquid. He said it was too thick, it was just pointless. So he's like, take a sip, swallow, take a sip, swallow. every like couple of seconds he was saying that, and then he was just like, now turn to your left, turn to your right, and then he turned the machine on, and the machine basically lifts you all the way up and brings you all the way back so that you're laying down. And I was just like, oh Lord. So then he's like, turn over to your stomach and then turn over backwards, whatever. And basically you were doing that so that the liquid, the solutions that he gave you was coating your stomach so that they could see how everything was going down and everything like that. So he's like, turn to your side. All right, sit up on your side. And every time he told me to sit up on my side, I sat up on my side.